Those of you who have been following me for a while know well that I never care about fundamentals. I'm a technical analyst, and the way I analyze and beat the market is only through figures and patterns. So while I'm not going to talk about fundamentals today, it is worth mentioning that the project I'll be talking about today is one of the most solid projects I came across, and the amount of work that have been done behind the scenes is impressive. Make sure to do some research on it and you'll be surprised. Today I'll be analyzing Telcoin, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is King. I'm a full-time trader and investor. The information I'll be providing in today's video is not meant to be any kind of financial advice and is for educational purposes only. If it's your first time in the channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. That will help me keep giving you content like this. So without further ado, let's get down to it. For Telcoin analysis, I'll be doing a multi-time frame analysis, which means I'll be starting from a higher time frame and then going down to the lower time frames in order to understand the bigger picture first. I know most people trying to ignore the higher time frames, especially the newbies, those who just came into the crypto space. But it's very important to know what's the bigger picture for any cryptocurrency in order to understand on the long term how is it going to function and is it going to achieve your targets or not. So first we'll be starting with the monthly chart of Telcoin. As you can see over here, Telcoin is relatively a new coin like most other cryptocurrencies. It started in the beginning of 2018, which is 3 years only, and that's a challenge we analysts always face when trying to analyze cryptocurrencies. In other words, we don't have so much data to base our judgment on. When you have so much history about a certain coin or any financial instrument, it makes it way easier for you to understand what's this coin or financial instrument is going to do based on what it did historically. So this is Telcoin's monthly chart. Generally, the picture looks very healthy. After the all-time high in 2017, we have descended like all other cryptocurrencies and started climbing this cycle from January 2021 all the way till now. I don't have so much concern on the monthly chart of Telcoin except for this point over here. My custom indicator shows that Telcoin has been overbought for the past 4 or 5 months, since January 2021. And this is a normal thing. All the different currencies always go to the overbought area, correct themselves, and then go to the oversold area and then climb up again. But the problem over here is that the monthly chart is suggesting that we are due for a correction on the monthly chart based on the indicator over here. So does that mean it's not possible to continue going further? Of course not. It can keep going forward and stay in an overbought area, but it's highly unlikely. So in short, this means that Telcoin should be getting a correction, a long-term correction at a certain point. That's what the indicator is suggesting over here. It could be a 1 or 2 month correction as we got in Bitcoin right now. So overall, the monthly chart is pretty healthy. There is nothing to be concerned about. Let's move on to the weekly chart. And the most important takeout I got from this chart is this support area over here. Telcoin has formed a very strong support area around 1 cent. This area has been retested 3 times so far. It has been retested in 2018 when it was at all-time high, but at that time it acted as a resistance. It was retested again 2 months ago when we had this correction, this flag over here prior to breaking out. That was the second time. And the third time was just this week when we had this big strong dip. Now I know that there are a lot of people who are concerned from the drop in Telcoin's price over here. But it's very important to understand that in technical analysis, when the price breaks a major resistance level and turns it into support, the rule always says that we will have to go back and retest this level again. So any historical support, no matter what it is, once we break this level, no matter how high we go, it's more likely in 90% of the cases that the price will bounce back towards this level to build up a stronger support in here before continuing uptrend. So for those that are concerned about the price dropping so much, that's actually a natural move, and it is very important in order for Telcoin to have a stronger support area. Now, the other important point over here is that after forming this support level on a 3-year chart, the possibility of going below 1 cent from this point on is becoming very, very less, because it's a very long historical support level. So even after the market reaches its peak and drops down again, as we witnessed in 2018, so Telcoin is highly unlikely to go below the 1 cent area. So the importance of retesting this support area over here was because we needed a confirmation to tell us that we won't be going below 1 cent even in the future. So when the cycle ends and the prices starts going down from that point onwards, like we witnessed in 2018, you're not likely to see Telcoin, even no matter how far it goes down, you're not likely to see it go below this level, because this is the strongest historical support we have right now. And that's it for the weekly chart. Now let us go to the daily chart. Now there are a lot of people that are concerned about this long wick daily candle over here. And I've seen multiple discussions for people that were saying, because of this candle and the drop down afterwards, Telcoin price is going to continue dropping from here. That's simply untrue, because crashes are very common in the crypto market. And since they are very common, we have certain patterns that usually are not found in any other markets, but it is found in the crypto. And if you've been there long enough, you can always spot these patterns and try to identify what's going to happen next. Now there's a lot of examples on this pattern, but the nearest example that I got for you is Ethereum. This was Ethereum price over here in the year 2017, in 2017 cycle. And this chart over here is Telcoin's chart. Both are on the daily time frame. Now forget about the price, because the price is incomparable between both. But I want you to notice the similarity in patterns between the two. So as you can see, Ethereum was trending up in 2017 till we got this long wick candle over here. Now this is on Coinbase. This wick might be different from one exchange to another, but generally we had a big crash on this day over here for Ethereum. If you look at Telcoin's chart, it's almost identical to what we have in Ethereum over here. So Telcoin was trending up like impulse with another correction, impulse with a flag, impulse with another flag, and then this last impulse until we had this crash over here. So because this pattern is very common in the crypto market, it makes it easier for us to try to tell what's going to happen next. So if we move a little bit and see what happened with Ethereum afterwards, there you have it. So despite this massive drop in price over here, what happened is that Ethereum was actually starting its correction, which is true, but the correction was not as bad as it seemed to be after this daily candle crash. So what Ethereum did is that it formed a contracting flat over here, which is a corrective pattern. This was a WXY structure, and then from here onwards, after Ethereum completed its correction, the 1, 2, 3 correction, it continued trending up towards the end of that cycle. So the probability of this happening in Telcoin is very high. Let's say, for the sake of argument as well, don't take this as a projection, but let's say Telcoin is going to create a corrective pattern. So this might continue going down. It's not highly unlikely to retest this level over here, so might be going down and then correcting itself up, then getting another impulse down. This will form some kind of flat. Could be contracting flat, could be a running flat, that's not necessarily. And then we can expect that upon the completion of this correction to see the prices continue trending up from here. Now, I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but I'm putting this scenario in front of you for the sake of comparison, so people don't panic and think that the price is going all the way down, because that's not the case. And this pattern, as I said to you earlier, is a very common pattern because crashes in the crypto market are very common. So let's go back to our daily chart over here. Let's take away this one. So what we have right now is that the price is still in a downtrend after it reached its all-time high here at around 6.5 cents. Now, these are the Fibonacci retracement levels. Usually the strongest among them is the 0.618, but unfortunately this level did not, it tried to hold the price over here, it couldn't succeed. The price crossed it here, and it continued going down. Now, the next level that could possibly hold the price is this level, which is the 0.786 retracement level. Now, if this successfully manages to hold the price, so we can consider that this is going to be the bottom of at least this correction of this impulse, and we'll monitor what's going to happen next. Now, does that mean there is no chance that we might go below this level? No, the chance is there, but it is highly unlikely. So now, in order to try to understand more what could happen next with Telcoin, I'm gonna zoom in further to the 4 hours chart and try to break down this structure which we have over here. So this is Telcoin's 4 hours chart, and as you can see, I've already tried to figure out what kind of structure we have in here. Based on MACD, this structure seems to be a 5-wave correction, which includes a W, X, Y, and X and Z waves. This is a very common correction type. Now, the only problem that we have over here is this breakout. So if that was the case, and this was the 5-wave structure, this means that we're about to complete the 5th wave of this structure, which is wave Z over here. And as you can see, this comes along with the retracement level of 786 Fibonacci level. So the corrective structure along with reaching the 786 level both suggest that it is likely that Telcoin's correction, at least this piece over here, is complete. But the most important question remains is that what's going to happen next? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that this correction has completed over here. So what we should expect next is an impulse upwards from here, in line with this green arrow. Now, Does that mean that we're going to continue all the way, break this top over here, and continue going up to create new highs in Telcoin? It's not necessarily true, because this might end up being a more complicated correction. Because if you remember at the beginning of this video, I said to you that on the monthly chart, Telcoin is due for a long-term correction because it's been in the overbought area for about 5 months now. So the possibility of seeing an uptrend from here is very strong if this correction was complete. Now, the possibility of breaking the top, we have a 50-50% chance of breaking this top over here, because this might end up going up to some point over here, likely in a corrective pattern, and then going down again. So this means that we would have formed a bigger correction on the higher time frame, similar to the one that you have seen over here in Ethereum. So we might go up, not break the top, and then go down again, then continue our uptrend from there. So this is a possibility that exists right now. If Telcoin was to go below the overbought area on the monthly chart, I am more lenient to seeing this scenario over here. However, never say never. So the price might actually end up going up from here, retesting this high, which is around here, and maybe breaking it and continuing up. Everything is possible. Now, I know some of you might be a little bit lost over here, but in order to simplify that, let's turn into a line chart. And as you can see in the line chart, it's more simple over here. Without having put all these structures and all these waves. Now, this piece over here, this is a correction that we're having. And this previous piece was the uptrend or the impulse. Let's put a different color on it. Green is good. So it is clear by just looking at it without actually trying to analyze or understand what structure in there, it is clear that this piece is corrective in its nature. And usually corrective pieces end up going up again. So if you look at the strength of the price movement over here and compare it to the strength of the price movement over here, it's not even close. At this point over here, we were going higher with the small corrections, and then higher, and then higher, and then higher. But when we started going down from here, the nature of this movement was very corrective, which suggests that it will be followed by another impulsive move similar to this one. Again, this impulsive move has two possibilities. It may come and retest the top, then drop down again, and then resume the uptrend. That's number one. Number two, it may be very strong, and that's possible. Go all the way here, break the top, and continue trending to higher prices. So let us summarize everything that we talked about at the end of this video. The monthly chart is pretty good, except for Telcoin being overbought for a few months, and it is due for a correction at some point. This correction might be now, might be in a few months, or might be by the end of this cycle. Nobody can tell. If we take in consideration that the momentum is on Telcoin's side because of all the developments they are doing and all the new features that they are adding, so these fundamentals, as I talked about in my intro, is more likely to support the price movement up rather than supporting a correction. So this is something very important to take in consideration. As for the weekly chart, we have formed a very long-term support level, which was retested twice as a resistance and was tested once as support, right, when we drop down this week. And this level is more likely to act as a support for the longer term when it comes to Telcoin's price. So I believe that we are not likely to see the price of this coin ever below the 1 cent over here. As for the daily chart, the Fibonacci retracement level is acting as a strong support so far, the 786 level. And if this level holds, we might see an up movement from here. It might not hold, and that's a possibility as well, but it is not likely to continue going down from here. So the most likely scenario that this level would probably hold. If this level breaks, the next support level will be at 1 cent, which, as I said earlier, is a strong historical support, and it was tested once this week. On the 4 hours chart, as I said to you, it seems to me that the whole corrective structure is complete, a 5-wave corrective structure, and I believe that in the coming days we are likely to see an uptrend movement from here, and that should happen only if the support holds. But as a structure, it looks complete. Now, it might develop to a more complicated structure, that is possible, and it might develop to a complicated structure on the long term as well. So even if we go up from here, as I said earlier, we might go down again, retest another level over here, then continue the uptrend from here onwards. And if it happens, it might take us up till July till we start seeing new highs. But as it stands right now, we will likely start seeing up movement from here onwards. So this is it for Telcoin, guys. Thank you for sticking till the end of this video. If you're not following me on social media, I will leave the links for you below. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I always post some helpful information in there. And until next video, take care and we'll see you later.